Yo, what's up? Sunday. I'm about to get out here and mow. I know a lot of the videos are like outside stuff and mowing, and because I do those things. And when I'm working inside, I film some of that stuff, but I'm just more focused on getting those orders out so we can ship people orders. And I sew a lot of stuff that's last item on the orders so that we get more orders out every day, so that the customers get more orders. This is that stuff we seeded. It didn't come in. Like, I've got, I've like no exaggeration, low end estimate. I've probably got $2,000 in seed. We bought all the super expensive seeds so that it wouldn't clump and you wouldn't get like this field grass. It was supposed to be more like ball grass, but the ground just isn't prepped and the dirt is poor here. We had made a lot of topsoil here over the years. We had 20 inches of wood chips that rotted down, and we did that a couple times, but just running so much equipment through here and trenching and everything, and then having rains, it washed all the topsoil. So we're just back to this trash dirt, and now we're just set after spending so much money. There's just nothing growing here, but I'm gonna cut it down at about 4 inches. The grass will sit and rot, and it seems like a lot of the stuff I read is if you cut grass, it grows back better and it kind of fills in. And a lot of this grass has seed and stuff on it right now, so I'll cut it. It'll sit. We might get another rain or two where we get some seed sprouted. I don't know, but if nothing else, it keeps this stuff. I walk through here with shorts all the time, and it keeps this stuff from rubbing your legs. And it's just bugs. You get buggy and you end up with like bug bites all over you. So clip where I walk. That's what I'm gonna do. I still got to get a workout in. I've dealt with all the animals. I've done all my emails this morning. I've boxed up some stuff from emails, customers inquiring about things. I was able to get some of that stuff done, and now I'm gonna mow this down, get a workout in at some point, and get some projects I'm working on finished up. And that's just kind of a normal Sunday day. Like, Amanda and I ran to Nashville yesterday. I've got some footage of that. We got back here, and then last night just started working. Like, as a business owner, I know a lot of people are like, well, you just work all the time and you don't have any kind of life. Well, the people saying that, when I look at their page, they don't have any life I would like to live. Like, I like to live and do what I do. So like when I show you doing things and you're like, I don't want to do that, that's okay, because it's what I want to do. Amanda and I have, built things so that we can do what we want to do. All of our hobbies are kind of incorporated. This is a pumpkin. This is a pumpkin. And I have the first one, so 3 pumpkins. The first one's actually in the kitchen right now. This was a pumpkin that had washed down from way up there down to here. And this is the only pumpkin that we got pumpkins off of this year. But with that said, this is also the first time that we've ever got pumpkins that we actually grew. And I guess I don't really get credit for that because I didn't grow it. It just ended up there and grew there. So totally awesome. We're gonna carve those up this year. We're having a get-together party, prepper expo festival kind of deal, October 23rd. Make sure you check that out. There's links on the Facebook page how to get tickets for that. We're gonna have a lot of guest speakers and hands-on stuff, and then we'll have a little get-together afterwards, a bonfire, and we'll all sit down and eat and hang out and just discuss, So try to get to that. It'll be fun. But right now, I'm gonna get on that mower and I'm gonna make that look better. finished mowing up top. Just back down here now, grabbing one of the fireman nozzles. Use these all the time. This one here has been on this property since day one, so 5 years now, out in the sun every day. Looks weathered, still works, functions fine. Some of the plastic rubber material has come off, just a little weathered, I suppose. Weathered, I guess, is a good word for it. Came down to get that, grab a drink. It's in one of my 40-ounce Nalgene koozies. They're just zip tied into the corners. Kind of hold tools in this one. Hold the sippy cup right here, sip. And gonna run up and wash this. I don't wash them down here because grass seeds come off, and that's why we are forever picking grass seeds up out of gravel, just coming off of equipment, coming out of tires, and then when I bring the mower back down and put it away, grass comes off of it. So I try to wash it out in one of the fields or in the grass to just prevent some of that. So that's what's up. You guys realize about 3/4 of the year is gone. One of the things I always lag on doing and put off is hoses. And this year we've added a lot of hoses. We have thousands of feet of hoses at this point. And I'll put them up later, and before you know it, there's ice on the ground, there's snow on the ground, and it just takes a wear on the hoses and cords. The number one thing that destroys them is sunlight. So if you can keep them up out of sunlight, your stuff will last way longer. But like this right here, that's a kink in that hose. See how it's set here? And now it's developing a crack right here. So just little things like that, putting that stuff away. We got some quick fits on some of these. The quick fits I found always leak. But if it's out, you know, someplace like out in the fields, what's it matter if it leaks? But so while I'm up here, I'm going to go ahead and roll these hoses up and start getting them staged and put up. We've probably got about 20 100 footers and another couple dozen of the 50 and 75 footers. I'll put a link to these hoses in notes. You can see where we've run over the hoses. This knucklehead over here, Magnus, he just likes to chew on the hoses. So some of these, I've got a hose down there. We actually built a cage around it to keep him from getting to it. The hose that lives inside that paddock right there. It has 17 or 18 it has 17 or 18 sleeves in it. And there's a couple different kinds of sleeves. I'll give you guys some links to them. This is just a push in with these band clamps, and it works well. But when you're rolling it through your hand real fast, you can cut your hand. There's another one, it's a little bulkier, but it's smooth. So you just kind of, you know, pick. The bulkier ones cost $5 to $7 a piece. These cheap ones, I think I buy them in bags of like 5 for $5. But I'm gonna roll these hoses up and start getting staged. Every year I say, oh, I'll do it next time, and this year, if more than anything, I've just kind of, it's the little stuff, you know, the stuff that the 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 10-minute stuff, I've just taken this year and kind of like done it then, or put it on a note list so that it gets done quickly in the near future. So it's that little stuff, because at the end of the day, like Friday, I took Friday and was just out here to feed animals, which takes about 15 minutes to do everything that needs to be done out here on a daily basis, and about 2 hours. And somebody said, where you been? And I said, man, I was just doing all the little 5-minute things that I've been putting off, but there was 100 of them, you know. So If you just take the time and do it now, it usually is a lot faster. It gets done. You don't have to worry about it. Plus it clears room in your head. Like, you only have so much room. Andy Frisella talks about power list. 3 items, you know, get 3 items done a day, but 3 real items. If you put 10 items on there, you're not gonna get them done. And you'd be amazed at the end of the week, if you do 3 important tasks a day for a week, a lot of people will accomplish more than if they'd just, you know, operated normally. You think you're getting a lot done, but you're really not. And a lot of it's just simple shit. But John, that's ridiculous. You're talking on a video about putting away hoses. These hoses, number one, have become very difficult to get. We used to buy them 100 footers at Walmart, lifetime warranty, no questions asked. You used to buy them and we pay, I think, 35 bucks. These hoses are damn near $1 a foot now. I'll put a link to this brand on our Amazon affiliate link. We get a little tiny piece back of anything you order on Amazon. If you just click that link and look at the hose or anything in my video links for Amazon, it doesn't matter if you buy that item or not. It gives me a couple points, a couple percentages of your money to us, rather than Amazon keeping it all. It doesn't take anything away from you. You don't even know it happened, and it's just another way. Multiple revenue streams, is, you know, everybody always talks about, and I tell you guys, you know, develop something, have some content people want to watch, and you're like, well, YouTube doesn't pay anymore. It doesn't. YouTube doesn't pay anymore unless you have, you know, high viewer count, you know, millions of views. Then you can make some money on it because you're in a different level. I solely believe, I firmly believe, that's why they banned a lot of the gun guys, like James's account. They killed James's account, and it's very, very vague as to why. And my gut feeling, really, from the day it happened, the first time it's happened, probably damn near a dozen times now, because he was making good money, and by killing him, because you notice they don't ever care if he starts another channel. No problem, start another channel, but they don't have to pay out at that pay rate. So most people doing big social media stuff, they don't make money from the social media. YouTube used to pay, they don't anymore. So you have to make money from sponsors and affiliate links and stuff. And that's what this Amazon store is. So I'll put a link to these hoses. I see guys every couple weeks ask me on Facebook in the groups and stuff about them. And I believe in them, or I wouldn't have so many of them. And we're kind of at the point where we could buy anything we want as far as a hose. And these are the ones we use because they are super, super durable. You don't want to drive over them with tractors, but we have. But driving over them with trucks and lawn equipment, it's not a problem. So I'm gonna roll these suckers up, get them ready. Fall's coming, fall's here, winter's coming, and it'll just prolong it, especially with the supply chain what it is. It's just becoming ridiculous to find things that we took for granted, things we could always go to for the last 2 decades and would be there, and they just don't exist anymore. Something else I like to do, take my cords and hoses and I wet them down, and then I actually wash them just like you would, you know, your car, your four-wheeler, your mower. I'll take a rag and wipe them off. And the reason I do that is a lot of times I'll come out here and we'll be like, we're gonna leave here and go someplace, right? And I won't have on like farm clothes. I won't have on dirty work clothes. And I'll come out here and all of a sudden there'll be something, some emergency that the dog has caused, or something will happen and I might need a hose. Well, if the hose is clean and I grab it and it gets up next to my pants or something, I don't have a big muddy mark across me if I just keep them clean. So, you know, that's why I do that. Plus, you know, people see a lot of my shit all the time. It always gets on camera. You don't realize it's on camera. So everybody's always, you know, critiquing you. And if you walk in to look for your stuff and it's nice and clean and it's in the, you know, all in rows and stuff, you just know where it is. A good example of that is like Cody from Wrangler Star. You look at his stuff in the background, you just notice things on video, on his videos, and everything has a place. My stuff, I'm terrible with that. There's a lot of times I'll go to get something that I know we have because we bought it recently. I'll look for 5-10 minutes and I'm like, I can just order this or I can go pick this up faster than I can find it. So that's kind of been another thing this year, is just organizing. Like, I've bought a lot of stuff I know I have. I just rebought it and kind of put it in new boxes, and I just keep it in different bays. So like out here, I'll keep wrenches and some screwdrivers and cage pliers and stuff that I know I use out here all the time. Scissors, because I'm always cutting mats out of the dogs and stuff, having Pyrenees dogs. So I keep that stuff here. And then in my work bay, I keep a separate set of tools. That's my stuff. Nobody touches that. So if ever I'm in a hurry to do something, I know I can just go grab those, take them, use it. When I'm done with it, I just put it back in my stuff. So just, you know, just things that are always in my head. You guys know I wear coal pants. If you go back to like the breakfast videos and the videos a year or two ago, guys were always asking, what are those pants? What are those pants? And these are Cole Ryder, R-Y-D-E-R. And they make several versions. This is kind of their no frills version. It's got a pocket right here, which is great for a knife, flashlight, hammer, whatever. And they're reinforced right here. These things are probably 6 years old. They were like a dark gray, and now they're not. You notice they're super dirty. When I go inside to take a shower, I'll actually take these dirty pants and hang them on a hook. So I don't wash them every day. They don't get washed. Actually, I don't wash my stuff at all. I'm very lucky that Amanda does all the laundry. I do all the dishes, she does all the laundry. I fight the ninjas, she does all the paperwork. And I don't have a lot of ninjas, so I get the better end of the deal. I'll take my dirty clothes like this, it will be soaking wet. I won't put it in the hamper because I'll change shirts a couple times a day. And they'll just kind of get musty and mildewy. So I'll hang this just right out there on the hook of a leg press or something, let it dry before it goes in the hamper. And then the pants will go on a hook, and then I'll use them, you know, tomorrow when I go outside, if I'm gonna hit a piece of equipment or, you know, do something that's out here prolonged or dusty, I'll just put the dirty pants back on. Do you guys do that? Like, it seems like most dudes do that. My shorts are always Katanica shorts. You can't go wrong with them. They're costly. I even look at them and I go, man, 165 bucks. They always have deals. They've always got promos. I have Katanica shorts. I'll bet I have 100 pairs at this point now. I buy them for employees, buy them for friends. I give them as gifts for birthdays and stuff. I'm watching this dog chew on this grapevine over here. Man, this dog, I put this fence up and we got rid of the goats so we could plant stuff. And here's the dog chewing on stuff. He has all kinds of stuff to chew on, but it's like he knows that I don't want him to chew on it and he wants attention. But the shorts, you can't go wrong with those shorts. You can get them on discount pretty frequently. I wear multicam black ones constant. It's almost like my uniform. Because the other ones, if I wear lighter colored stuff, I'll get mustard on it. It won't even be mustard from me. I won't even have mustard, but somehow I'll get mustard on my clothes if they're light colored. So check them out. I'll put a link to those too. Most of you guys know what that stuff is. I've got some videos on the YouTube channel specifically about Katanica stuff. Great company, made in the United States. Man, I think they're in San Francisco. I'm so sorry for you guys. You should come out here to Freedom. You and Adam Savage, you should come experience Freedom. But US made company, great dudes. You can check them out on Instagram, Facebook. Just an awesome company, awesome company. And you get what you pay for. You really do. Like, I've never had a failure on my Katanica stuff. I've never had a failure on my Cole pants. Katanica makes badass pants too. Too badass for me to mow in. Like, I have some Katanica pants. I just don't want to get them that. I don't want to use them for this. But these things, the Coles, like, I've got blood here. I've got who knows what's on these. The only failure I've ever seen is I've literally worn the material out. That's the only failures I've ever seen on them. The belt loops are good. The belt loops are great actually on Katanica and Coles. You can put real belts in them. You fucking pussies that wear in your sister's pants. That my belt won't fit through my jeans. I always picture those guys as like taking 550 and tying it around their nuts, and you know, sticking the other end up their butthole or something. Like, just I don't get dudes that are like, I can't put your belt through my jean loops. But anyways, that's not what this is about, right? Let's roll these hoses up. I'm actually twisting this hose so that it'll go into loops properly. They've just been used so much and drug around and carried around this year. They're kind of got like twists in them. So the other thing I do is I don't hang my hoses. If I hang my hoses, they kink. If the only way I'll hang a hose is if I use like a semicircle, you know, half crescent moon looking deal they make for hanging hoses. That way your hoses don't get messed up. If you ever take just a nail or one of those bicycle hooks and you hang your hose, you'll have 20 kinks or 20 little spots where the water chugs through those things. When the hose sits in a shed or a garage hot, it'll be pliable, and then when it gets cold, it will almost like freeze up with those kinks in there. So I always keep my circles, you know, pretty good size, and if I hang them in a wall in a feed shed or something, I don't ever hang them on just one hook. Even hanging them on 2 hooks, they still kind of do that because these hoses are pretty heavy. So keep that in mind too. You can buy those cheap plastic or aluminum hose reels or spools. There's some badass stuff where you actually just crank it and pull it up. There's carts. That stuff's kind of pricey, and typically it doesn't hold enough hose, and if it did, it would be really heavy. So we're just kind of better off keeping, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 400 feet of hose right here. Here's that upper pond that got dug. It's about 10 feet here. It's probably about 10 feet below the surface right here. You can see this high edge here because it goes uphill. We've lost probably 24 inches of water here. It's mostly in the shade. So just these trees sucking the water up, as well as some evaporation from the summer. This wasn't dug intentionally as a pond. It was dug to get clay to start to fix this one, and that did help a little. We put a bunch of bentonite down and then put this red clay over the bentonite, but it's deep here, so we just kind of left it. It holds a lot of water right here. It really is about the highest point of the property, and it just works well. And if you ever wanted to come out, if you were out here super hot, I would just dunk. You could drop right in. You can walk in this side, but you'll get clay all over you, or you can just drop right in that side. It's deep enough, and it's deep all pretty much here. It was deep enough that I couldn't get in and out of there with the mower. The four-wheeler would crawl out this side or this side, but just more water. And the whole water project, people like, do you put fish in? What kind of fish you got? Are you fishing? What are you doing? You know, it was just about water holding, just about water catchment, so that if city water ever got cut off, which we're on and we don't have a well here yet, some guys were talking about a sand point well or something, a one you do yourself. Our water table's pretty low because we're close to the river. Luckily, we're high enough from the river that we don't get any flooding here. While we're up here, let me show you these rail ties. We take rail ties and chainsaw them in half and then stack them up like Lincoln logs, and we put water totes. Now we filled these, here's another 100-foot hose here. Now we filled these water totes with hose off of that spigot, but we don't ever use it. And guys are always talking about, you got to drain your water tanks. Well, we've had 0-degree weather here. This water's been in this tank. We have never drained them during the winter. The only thing we've ever had happen is these fittings that reduce. You can see this one here is actually cracked right now. It just pisses water when you turn it on though. We've never had one of these pop. We've never had them crack. And this tank has been in place for I got a bug. Yeah. Like an actual bug. This tank's been in place for 5-6 years. Back Tyler and Scully put this one together, and it's just sitting here. We didn't nail them, we didn't drill them, just wait. And then this was just here kind of hold, and it's not even, you can see that these have even stretched now. This one's not even tight anymore, these ratcheting tie downs. And those have held well because they don't get a lot of direct sunlight. Well, they don't get any direct sunlight up here. And you can see this is the top edge of the property. And this here, you could get down it if you went down it backwards probably, but it's super steep. So that's where that sits. And we just had that here originally because we had 30 of these little, this is my favorite Christmas tree, these blue spruce, these Colorado blue spruces, and they're really expensive to buy. So at the end of the year one year, they had all these potted Christmas trees at Lowe's, and I bought all of them. I had 35 of them up here, and there's old videos of it, and they just didn't make it. One by one, they died off. And now I've got this one here that's not doing well, and then this is just a wind blow off of one of these little pine trees. There's a whole stand of pines here, which is the only thing that was growing on the property. These are all like wind blow trees. Nobody planted these. So there's that blue spruce, and there's this one. And I guess it could be that they're not in enough sunlight. And then here's another wind blow. There's a bunch of these wind blow trees. So I always leave those and kind of mow around them in hopes that they'll just kind of grow up. This is the top edge of the property, so it gets the craziest wind. You can see the tops of a lot of these trees are snapped off, almost like straight line winds coming across. But luckily this is a buffer. When wind comes this direction, it's a buffer for the rest of the property. And then that stand of trees there, we left that there, and that's where all the chickens are when you see the chickens in the videos. All right, this has gone long enough. I'm going to get off of here. I think I'm gonna load this pretty much just raw, so we get videos so you guys can see them. It takes a long time to edit videos. For every minute of video you see, it takes me at least 30 minutes to edit a video. I'm not a good editor guy. So this is just Sunday. This is just a few minutes of my Sunday. I'm gonna go inside, take a shower, get a workout in, because that's what I am most lacking at, is my physical fit. The freest thing that costs me nothing is what I want to do the least, and I need to do that. Doesn't matter what your stockpiles are, doesn't matter what your knowledge is, doesn't matter what your skill level is. If you don't have fitness, when it comes time to use those things, you're behind the curve. You're behind the curve. So if you take 30 minutes today, it might keep you alive later. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go in there and do that, and then get some organization stuff done inside. Just putting stuff that 5 minutes, right? That thing that takes 5 minutes that I put off. I do a lot of that shit on the weekends. It's a woodpecker. We have these red-headed woodpeckers. These red-headed woodpeckers. They're beautiful. I'm sure they wreak havoc on the trees, but man, that's a pretty bird. See you guys.
Hey, look, I talk my shit and keep it honest, keep it independent. I hear them hating, but that's only cause they inconsistent. He said the weapon wouldn't prosper, now they wouldn't form. I'm about to golf, I hit the middle and it's good and warm. I got the $1 million motors, I've been getting to it. I got the shit that boost your ego when you listen to it. I know they waiting on the fall, but I doubt that, cause I've been buying Bitcoin on the bounce bag. Might need a minute in the morning, I've been working late. You see me living in my purpose, I don't perpetrate. I'm certified, serve the mattress off the Herba Mate. She in the green.